All right. Hello, everyone. This is Dave from Business Bellies and Transcend. Today, bringing to you a stress and weight loss webinar focusing on my top strategies for fat loss. So I'm really excited that you can all make it today. And of course, for those of you who are not here live with us, you have the opportunity to get this recording in high definition with great audio at home. So we're going to email that to you. And if you have any issues right now with while you're listening on your end with your Wi-Fi connection, just don't worry about it. Again, we have this all recorded so you can hear it crisp and clear at home on your own time. So today, I really am excited to be bringing to you what we're bringing to you, and it's just myself today. Of course, you're going to meet the team, which is Grant Abbott, our mind master, my brother, who is the body master. He's just like an F1 mechanic of physical training. It's incredible what he can do. And myself, I'm your nutrition coach, and together we just make this team of passion that's here to help you get the best results in the least amount of time. It's what we love to do. It's what we do for ourselves. It's what we do for our clients. And now we're excited to be doing it for you with our Stronger Than Stress webinar series. So in today's webinar, we're going to be covering what I guess you can say the 5 top tips that I've seen success over and over again when it comes to managing stress and losing weight, that stubborn hormonal weight. I'm going to show you exactly how you do that, and we're going to go through a few slide presentations, so feel free to take some screenshots and just let this all sink in. Be like a sponge during this conversation, because this is really your chance to get some great information that you might not have heard before, or this time we're going to go deeper and really go into it. So again, welcome to our webinar, and we're going to get started. So I'm going to slide us down to our agenda and give you a little overview of what we're going to be covering in this webinar. And I mean, as you know from the title, it's really all about stress. And when it comes to stress, this is something that's so misunderstood. And I don't know if anyone knows about cortisol itself. We're going to go into that. It's our hormone that controls our inflammation and controls our soothing mechanism. And at the end of the day, it's actually the gatekeeper to our fat loss, and not a lot of people realize this. So today we're going to break through some areas in our mind that we're just stuck on, focusing on calories or focusing on exercising more, thinking that that's going to lead to better results. I'm going to show you today that it's actually cortisol that we need to focus on. I'm also going to show you, of course, the best ways to break through and just manage your cortisol so that you take it under control, so that it works for you instead of against you. So our 5 strategies today, 5 things that I've seen over and over again just become the game changer in people's results. Strategy number 1 is control your blood sugar. Now, controlling your blood sugar, we're going to dive into this, but it's so much more than just eating sugar. It's so directly related to stress. And I'm really excited to be revealing this one to you, because people just don't realize how much stress affects what's going on inside the body. So it's not just about the outside. And strategy number 2, we're going to get right into it. I'm going to show you how to shift your body into fat burning mode. And this is a beautiful place to be, because once you're in fat burning mode, everything in your body, everything just gets easier. You're stressing less, your inflammation goes down, the meals that you eat are digesting better, and fat burning mode is just this amazing place that we're all striving for. And I'm going to show you that it's not as hard as you think. Also, part of all of this is maximizing your exercise. So the 3rd strategy we're going to run through is no more wasting time with exercises that don't work. We're going to go straight to the core, and I'm going to show you 7 movements that just absolutely transform your body. And they relieve stress, they help to manage your blood sugar, they help you to sleep better, and that brings us to strategy number 4. I'm going to help you make the most of your sleep, because this is such a crucial time for us to recover and for our hormones to balance. We don't realize it, but we spend all day kind of messing up our hormones a little bit with the stress that we do, that we're subjected to, with some of the foods that we eat, with our job, with pressure at home. And so by the time of the end of the night, when it's actually our time to recover, this is the time that our brain is just getting bombarded with all of the events of the day, and it's really hard for a lot of people to shut off. And so I've seen so many amazing, I guess you can call them case studies, where myself included, my clients, we can revolutionize our health just from changing the quality of your sleep. So we're going to get into that. It's really exciting just to see the simple tricks that are going to allow you just to shut off like a light switch and wake up in the morning feeling like ready to go. And then strategy number 5. Now, this sounds self-explanatory, but this is something that I'm hoping, and I'm really excited to be a part of this strategy for you. And part of our Stronger Than Stress series, and why we really created this, was to help people get an ongoing source of reliable information. So what this is with Stronger Than Stress is it's just continuous. It's every week we either release a podcast or a webinar, And we give you the chance to connect with health professionals just so that you stay connected to your health, and that's so important. So you can learn from the best, and you can latch on to a reliable source of information. It doesn't just keep you accountable, but it keeps you learning, and never stop learning, because progress is the best motivator. Every time you're making progress, no matter how far from the goal you might be, you're always feeling motivated. When there's a little bit of forward direction, you feel motivated to keep going. So this is our agenda for today, and we're going to have a Q&A at the end. So anything that's resonating with you, or anything that's kind of light bulb goes off and you can't stop me, or you can't right now, just jump in and ask a question, but just note it down and ask it at the end, and we're really happy to answer all of your questions. So whether it's live we answer, or whether I get back to you by email, whatever you have that's lingering after this conversation, probably answer most of the questions during this presentation, but anything left unanswered, please just send us a note and an email, and we'll get right back to you. All right, so we're going to get started, and first, I want to ask you some questions. So a lot of people are asking, well, how do I know if I have an issue with cortisol? And I guess the first sign that you have an issue with cortisol is when you feel like your metabolism is slowing down. And metabolism doesn't just mean fat loss. Metabolism means like all of your functions, like elimination, going to the bathroom, waking up really tired, or going to sleep and you feel tired, but you also feel wired. These are all signs that your metabolism is slowing down. Another sign that you have issues with cortisol, so your stress hormone is working against you instead of for you, is if you have frequent food cravings. So if you're getting cravings for unhealthy foods, usually sweets, especially around 2 to 4 p.m. when our cortisol is at its lowest point, actually, this is a real sign that you have an issue with cortisol. And we're going to fix that. I'm going to give you all the tools to fix that. Another thing is digestive issues. So it seems at first like stress and digestive issues wouldn't be linked, because one's a hormone and one has a whole intricate system of functions, but stress in your digestion is very, very linked. You know that feeling when you feel anxiety or you feel anxious and they say you have butterflies in your stomach? Well, it's really interesting, because your stress hormone actually activates an enzymatic reaction in your system where your digestion just stops. And it's really, really unfortunate, but it happens to us on a daily basis because we're always subjected to too much stress. So our stomach's always in a knot, and when our stomach's in a knot and we eat, and then that food just doesn't get absorbed properly, it's just a mess. And so many people are suffering from digestive issues because of stress and cortisol. And again, today we're going to address that. Of course, self-explanatory, but do you have issues with sleep? And if you do, this is a definitive sign that you have issues with cortisol. Either the mind can't shut off, or your body is waking you up in the middle of the night, and actually cortisol is what wakes you up in the morning. But if you're waking up throughout the night, it's a big sign that something is off with your cortisol. It's affecting your organ function, it's affecting your inflammation, and it's just creating your body's signals to be kind of all crossed, and so your body doesn't know when to wake up, doesn't know when to go to sleep. It's just a mess. So I'm going to show you a very quick tip to fix your sleep. And then the last question is, are you exercising and just not getting the results? Are you not losing weight even though you're exercising? And if the answer is yes, my logical brain's going to, well, I know how to help you, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you that a lot of the things that we're doing for exercise is simply not providing the best results. So we're going to jump into exercise. We're going to simplify exercise because we really overcomplicate it. And I'm going to show you that in the next month, let's say 30 days from this webinar, if we address, since we will address all of these elements right here, and I can promise you that all of these elements, your metabolism is going to speed up, you're going to get less food cravings, you are going to have better digestion and less bloating, you're going to sleep better, and you're going to start losing weight from your exercise. So let's get started. I want to tell you a little bit more about cortisol, because I know there's a big group on today listening to the webinar, and a lot of you have seen me personally in Phuket, or maybe in Dubai or Hong Kong, where I'm doing my live seminars, and I always talk about cortisol. The cortisol connection is so important to me. But some people just do not know about cortisol or have not heard me speak about it before. So let's go on to the next slide, where we will show you how cortisol affects your stress levels and your body fat. So I'm going to define cortisol, explain what it is, and show you really why this is affecting your stress levels and how it's affecting your physical body as well. It's not just emotions. It's not just stress in the brain. Stress in the brain translates to stress in the body, which translates to body fat. So moving on, there is one thing that I want everybody to know, and cortisol is known as our stress hormone. And I know that sounds right away like, oh, cortisol is a bad thing. Well, that's not true at all, actually. Cortisol is not a bad thing. We need cortisol to survive. In fact, without cortisol, we would not survive more than 15 minutes. If our cortisol production stopped, we would not be able to make it. We would have no blood sugar regulation. We wouldn't be able to protect ourselves against stress, and there would be so many hormones that just wouldn't function that rely on cortisol to be balanced. So some of the benefits of cortisol, as you can see here, are soothing pain, relieving stress and inflammation, regulating blood sugar, which is a big part of what we're going to talk about today, and optimizing energy and increasing mental focus. Without balanced cortisol, we don't have the ability to focus. And so we'll go through that. But again, one of the benefits of cortisol is assisting your organs to detoxify. This is very, very important because, again, with unmanaged cortisol levels, we increase our toxic load. Our organs can't detoxify as efficiently as they could with balanced cortisol, and we begin to compound toxins in our body, and then we end up in a more stressed situation. And finally, cortisol production, one of the benefits is that it boosts the immune system. In the short term, cortisol, when it's secreted, it actually reduces our immune system. But in the long term, cortisol is essential for balanced immune production. So that means protecting us against stress and protecting us against viruses and bacteria and anything that might be in the body. So cortisol really does everything in that regard. And then now we can see the concerns with elevated cortisol, and that's not just temporarily elevated, this is chronically elevated. When our stress hormone remains elevated for too long, we start to gain weight and we start to have metabolic issues. And this is the worst kind of weight to gain because this is hormonally controlled weight. It's not just weight because you ate too many calories. You see over and over again, people are cutting their calories, but they're not losing weight. And this shows that there's hormones controlling that weight loss. And so this is very linked to cortisol. This is a big part of what we're going to talk about. When you have chronically elevated cortisol levels, so your stress hormone is just too high, you have more inflammation, more digestive issues, and then you have a feeling of lethargy or just chronic fatigue, like you just can't get started. And a lot of people need 2 or 3 or 4 coffees a day just to feel like they have that energy. And that's a sign that your cortisol isn't balanced. If you feel irritable or like your blood sugar is frequently dropping and you just generally feel down, it's another sign that your cortisol is unmanaged. And these are all things that you can take control of so easily when you start focusing on that cortisol connection to your health. That's another reason why I'm so happy today that we're here and we're talking about this super important subject. And of course, weakened immune system. So when your cortisol is elevated for too long of a period, it starts to degrade the quality of your immune functions. And so you are too busy, your system is too busy fighting off stress, trying to reduce inflammation, trying to get rid of the toxins, that in the end it results in a weakened immune system. And it's a really bad position for us to be in, of course, because then we get subjected to more illness and more sickness and just general more tiredness. So everyone's still with me. Now we're going to dive into something really, really, really important here. And I don't want to just keep going through the slides and just make it a slideshow, because I also want to explain much deeper about certain topics. And this is one we're going to stick on for just a little while, because if I can express anything that is going to help my clients break through, it is the stress-blood sugar connection. So let's just go through this slide so you can be on the same page with me here. So I'll read it out, but under stressful conditions, cortisol is released to provide your body with an immediate source of glucose, which is sugar. So our bodies run off sugar. We are sugar burners, which you'll get to learn in a moment when I talk about breaking through fat plateaus and getting results from your exercise. But cortisol, we're sugar burners, and because we've essentially trained our bodies to have carbohydrates since a young age. And by taking proteins in the liver and converting them into sugars, cortisol starts to manufacture energy out of protein, which is not a good thing. So when this happens, these sugars are fed into your bloodstream so that you have a supply of energy instantly. So what this means is when you're stressed, even if you're not eating, your body will go under an enzymatic process where it starts to break down proteins, which is muscle, and it converts it into sugar and force feeds it into your blood. The reason why it does this is because it's our stress hormone. And basically, if we go back into the Paleolithic days, we were under stress and under attack possibly. So this is like a superpower where when we get stressed, our body says, get out of here. You need energy to get out of here. So it force feeds your blood with sugar. And it can't rely on you to have sugar in your system, so it manufactures its own. So just picture this scenario. You're at the office, you're stressed, you have deadlines, or you're at home, you have pressure, and you are constantly, your body's constantly feeling like it's under attack. Well, what this means is that your body is going to be constantly flooded with blood sugar that your body's making itself. So you don't even have to eat the sugar. Your body is literally making this blood sugar out of precious, important proteins that are in your body. And this is a absolutely dangerous, I can say, position to be in, because then you start going into a catabolic state, which means that your body is eating muscle and force feeding sugar into your bloodstream, meaning that even when you eat foods, that you're not going to use that food as energy as efficiently. You're going to store that food because your body already has energy that it's manufacturing. And this is where so many people are stuck with weight loss, is they've cut their calories or they're exercising hard, but they didn't address the stress. And so their body is reacting in an instinctive way by always giving you an energy source, meaning that you'll never have to use your own energy source, which is body fat. And this creates that vicious cycle. So when we're stressed, our blood is filled with sugar, and that sugar gets used as energy, and then our food doesn't get used as energy, which results in bloating and digestive issues and just the inability to lose body fat. So this is the stress blood sugar connection that is so important. So just to recap, when you're stressed, your body starts to create its own source of fuel in order to allow you to escape that situation. But unfortunately, we're not escaping any situations right now. We're staying in the office, we're staying at home, we're staying in this stressed position, and it just compounds. It just adds up and adds up and adds up. And then here we are, stressed, not losing weight, and digestive issues and hormonal issues, and just always feeling tired. And the real reason is that we have not addressed the impact that stress has on our blood sugar. So we're going to move on here, and I'm going to teach you how to control your blood sugar and optimize energy and reduce stress. Now, this is, I guess this is probably one of the most important things that we can all learn, is how to optimize our energy without having to take energy. This is a big thing. I try to tell people, don't just take energy, make energy. Your body was designed to make energy. And we all have this incredible capability of making our own energy. This is what we're designed for. But over the course of our lives, we've abused carbohydrates. We've eaten too many foods that don't benefit our body. We've done too many things that stressed us out, and we don't have an outlet for stress. We don't have a protection system for stress. And so our energy has become compromised, and now we can't even make our own energy anymore. So, because our bodies are so busy trying to reduce the stress, reduce the inflammation, get rid of the bad bacteria we're consuming from our food, and just our bodies are overrun, and so the ability to produce energy becomes compromised, and then that stresses us out. So again, the vicious circle. So we're going to move on here, and I'm going to just show you really quickly, and it's a quick infographic, but if you're looking at the top where it says increased blood sugar, so this is essentially the cycle of what happens when we eat sugar. So when we eat sugar, this little dial with 100 is supposed to be a blood sugar monitor like the diabetics take to test their blood. And on that note, you don't have to be a diabetic to test your blood. It's actually really interesting to do, to see what is happening in your body, what is food doing to your blood sugar, and how stressed are you? And you can tell by checking your blood sugar. It's really interesting, actually. Diabetes is not as much a sugar issue as it is a stress issue. And as you saw before, stress affects our blood sugar significantly. In fact, stress will affect your blood sugar more than eating, for example, like a chocolate donut or something, or a croissant or something sweet. Just being stressed will pump that same amount of sugar into your bloodstream, except instead of taking it from the outside, your body makes that sugar from the inside, and this is even more detrimental. So this is where we can see that stress, the cortisol yellow circle right there, is the epicenter of the optimization or not of our blood sugar. So when we have an increase of blood sugar, whether it's through exogenous, which means taken from the outside, we have a meal, for example, something sweet, or anything with high carbohydrates, we increase our blood sugar. Now, it says here, it's interesting, I'm showing you that it heightens your memory and attention, but that's very, very short-lived. So when you eat sugar, for a very short period of time, you trigger a release in your system that is stimulating to your attention memory. I think we all know that sugar high. But what that sugar high is, I mean, we kind of associate that with children, but actually as adults, we are sugar addicts even worse than most children because we've been subjected to it for a lifetime. And now we have mood disorders or attention disorders. We just feel like a brain fog. One of the reasons why is because we've pounded our system with sugar over and over and over again. And so we've decreased the ability to have this heightened memory and attention. Although it should be there. In theory, sugar should, for a very short period of time, trigger your focus and your memory. Good time for that stall, because it allows you to escape that situation. Once that happens, so the cycle continues and you have an increase in your blood pressure, which causes a decreased sensitivity to pain. So that's really interesting, is sometimes when we're emotionally in pain, you know, we're sad or we're just unhappy or we're stressed or we're anxious, we want to soothe that pain, and our body knows instinctively that if we increase our blood sugar, we're going to get that decrease in pain. We're going to get that temporary feeling that we're not feeling pain. So we're actually chemically, we don't realize it, but we're actually, we search out sugar in times of sadness or stress because we know that we're going to get a certain amount of pain relief, which is obviously not a beneficial thing. But with this comes a decrease in serotonin. So here's the crash now. So the first clockwise cycle was the almost benefits, because increased blood pressure, by the way, can actually be beneficial in some points for a short period of time, just like when you're exercising, more blood to the working muscles. But then after you start to decrease the pain and you start to dip in your serotonin, which is your happy hormone. Serotonin is one of your neurotransmitters along with dopamine and several others, but these are your gatekeepers, I guess I could say, to happiness and to that feeling of excitement or that feeling of satisfaction. And once that dips down, then our immune system is also suppressed. So we don't have the microorganism capability to protect ourselves, essentially. So the bad microorganisms in our system start to grow faster. The good microorganisms start to grow or expand slower. And then we are in the whole compromised digestive system. And then the cycle repeats, because after this happens, we get a dip. And then what do we want? As soon as we get that crash, we want to be back up again. It's exactly like a drug. In fact, it's what I'm going to show you shortly. So just like I said, sugar is a drug. Here I have a very interesting medical study. And I call this Break the Addiction. And this is a medical study that was actually quite recently done and then redone, and they reevaluated this. But they compared sugar to cocaine. Now, I know that sounds pretty serious, but this scientific study was really an eye-opener, because they found that when they basically fed the rats either sugar or cocaine, and then they took it away, and then they reintroduced both of these things, sugar and cocaine, and astoundingly, 94% of the rats preferred to go for sugar rather than cocaine. And they measured the brain receptors as well, and they've done this in humans as well, and it shows that our brain craves sugar more than it craves drugs. So it's more of an addiction in our system. The same neurological synapses that's firing during an addictive personality or any addiction to nicotine or even caffeine, it's even stronger in sugar. And one of the reasons is that cycle that I just showed you is because we get such a cyclical dip in our serotonin, and our instinct is to get that back up, and we know how fast that sugar can do that. And after a lifetime, literally since we were children, of being fed foods that are just too high in sugar, and most of our diet just comes from these carbohydrates, which stresses us out, this has led to a literal chemical addiction. And so breaking the addiction is such an important thing that we can do for our wellness and for our health, and just for our fat loss, of course, is shifting our body into fat burning mode, which we're about to talk about. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. But part of that is kicking the sugar habit. It's so important, because not calories, don't think about calories, don't think about energy, don't think about that, just think about stress. Sugar stresses you out. So the more you eat sugar, the more you're going to be stressed. And I know, guess what? The more you're stressed, what do you want to eat? It's not asparagus and broccoli. You know, when you get stressed at work, that's the last thing you're thinking of. You're thinking of a pastry or a latte or adding more sugar to your coffee or whatever it is. It's that chemical compulsion that we have to try to get back up. And yeah, so the rats proved it here in this study. I just like to share that because it shows how strong that this addiction is in us. So I want to show you how to optimize blood sugar and reduce stress. Now this is where we're going to get into solutions. So I've been just kind of giving you an overview, introducing you to the impact that cortisol has on our system and the relationship with sugar and how it causes, how that cycle just goes where, and again, we can all relate. When you're stressed, you want sugar. When you have sugar, it stresses you out. And it just repeats. It's just such a simple cycle that we have the power to break. And I want to help you do that, because once you break this stress-sugar cycle, you start to get results faster than you ever imagined. You start to get results that you never imagined you could even get just from breaking this cycle. So one thing that I advocate, and I'm really big on this, and you can send me your questions if you want. I have a couple of videos with Business Bellies with our 30-day reset. Actually, we hammer this one home, the importance of having a fat breakfast. Now, having a fat breakfast sounds weird, but what does that mean? Is that just means that, okay, let me put it to you like this. You've heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, probably. I don't know if you know who created that slogan, but it's actually a brilliant marketing slogan. That's from Kellogg's. They created that way back in the 70s. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now, breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. The most important meal of the day is the first meal that you eat. So whatever time that might be. For some people it's lunch, some people intermittent fast, which we're going to talk about. But what is so important is that after sleep, you've been fasting. Excuse me. So after sleep, you've been fasting. How you break your fasts, which is the definition of breakfast, is going to decide what you switch on that day. Are you going to switch sugar is my fuel today switch, or are you going to switch fat is my fuel switch? Now, if you flip that fat is my fuel switch, guess what your body looks for the rest of the day as an energy source? It looks for fat. So one of the best things about that is that it stops screaming for sugar. So anybody who's listening to this webinar right now who has sugar cravings or just any hunger cravings, like real cravings, like, damn, like you feel like you don't have willpower because these cravings are so strong. One of the main reasons why is because you're waking up and you're breaking your fast with carbohydrates. That could be cereal with milk or orange juice, which we all thought was a healthy breakfast back in the 70s when the FTA, the American Food Pyramid, was designed, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But essentially, we've been wired to think that breakfast means something simple that comes out of a box, and it's carbs and sugar, or it's sweet, or it's orange juice. And that really has caused a destructive pattern in all of our health. And one of the most fundamental shifts we can make is stop breaking our fast with carbohydrates and start breaking your fast either with healthy fats, or even there's going the next step, which is intermittent fasting, which I'm going to introduce you to. But again, in our 30-day reset for Business Bellies, I really talk about this, I guess you can say, even more deeply and more passionately, because this is how I get all of my clients amazing results. Is if I can make one simple change in someone's diet, I say start your day with fats and watch what happens. So this is a very major thing, and the chemistry behind it is very simple. It's just you have a choice when you wake up. What are you going to communicate to your body? Are you going to communicate to your body that you are going to be a sugar burner today, or are you going to communicate to your body that you're going to be a fat burner today? And the first meal of your day is so important for that. Whether your first meal of the day is 7 a.m. or 11 a.m., it's irrelevant. What matters is what choice that is for your meal. Moving on, we're going to talk about this in more depth. That's part of shifting your body into fat burning mode. It's a really big part of it because it's such a simple but fundamental shift we can make. Reducing refined grains. Now, this is a subject I can talk about for a whole weekend. Some of you have been to my seminars, have heard me talk about this for a long time. It's just such a misunderstood element to our diet. Like, what really is a refined grain? Well, I'll put it to you this way. Of course, bread, anything shaped into something that looks like a croissant or a bagel or a donut, this is refined, but it even goes deeper than that. Even cereals are refined grains. Anytime you take grain and you pulverize it, so you turn it into powder, and then you reshape it into something, it goes under a process where it will now become higher glycemic, which means it will affect your blood sugar more, which will affect your inflammation more and affect your stress more. And I think the most important thing is, and just the simplest thing, is that we've done it too much. Refined grains have found their way into everything in our modern diet. From a time we were young until now, even if you've probably heard of gluten intolerance or celiac disease, you don't have to be celiac or have this condition to to have grains be unbeneficial in your diet because we've just overdone it. They have caused an environment in our system where it's spiking our blood sugar, it's causing inflammation, and it's not giving us the nourishment that we need. So, and it takes up a huge part of most people's diet. If I look at my clients, like nutrition logs, and let's say I wrote it out, I put it on the wall, I look at the wall, I'd say, wow, that's a lot of refined grains. And once you just shift that into just reducing, you don't even have to eliminate, you just reduce, you're going to see profound benefits in your blood sugar optimization and in your stress management. So believe it or not, cutting out bread out of your diet for just 30 days, let's say, can actually reduce your stress levels. I know that sounds crazy, like eating less bread will be less stress, but it's actually chemical. When you think about it, it makes sense. When you stop spiking your blood sugar through your food, because you're already doing it through normal lifestyle pressure, when you stop doing it through your food, you start to have more of an environment to allow your body's natural stress relief to do its thing instead of smashing it all the time with more carbs, more refined grains. And that's just, it's such a simple thing that we can do, again, just like having a fat breakfast, that this is one of my top tips. It's easy. It's something that I don't know if you look back at the past couple years of your life, ask yourself, have you ever gone 1 month without either bread or pasta or something refined? And again, you don't have to answer now, but if you're thinking about that, if you're like, wow, in the last month I haven't, and then go back maybe, let's say 6 months, and then go back 5 years, and you can see that this is just such a big part of our diet that it's changed the way that our body reacts to blood sugar, and it changes the way our body can handle stress, because it is adding stress to our daily life repetitively, constantly, over a long period of time. So moving to the next part about the grains, again, this is a subject that we go deeper into in the 30-day reset. I call it one of my ugly three. My ugly three, the Transcend and the Business Belly's ugly three, are the 3 foods that are the ugliest, that just give your body the most problems, and that's pasteurized dairy, refined grains, and of course sugar. And the bottom reason, or the bottom line on these ugly 3, is that it all negatively affects your blood sugar and it stresses you out. And I'm happy to send everybody here at this webinar the ugly 3 video where I describe all this in more detail. So we're going to jump on to moving your body. Now, I don't want people, I hope you don't think that moving your body means that's Phil's job, like yelling at you, telling you need to work out more. You don't. I can tell you right now, you do not need to exercise more or longer time or more frequently. You just have to move your body, which means physical activity, get up from your chair every now and then. You just need to move. We were designed to move. Humans were not designed to sit down for long periods of time. And myself included, I spend more time than I should on my computer sometimes. And actually what's helped me recently in the past couple of years, I set an alarm every 2 hours. Just beep, beep. My alarm reminds me, get up, move your body. Now, this is so important to blood sugar optimization and stress management. And again, this is the simple thing sometimes, is every time you spend more than 1.5 or 2 hours seated, your metabolic system starts to slow down. Your body says, oh, okay, we're not doing anything, so I guess we can conserve energy. And that's not a very good thing. And it's so easy just to get up, walk to the bathroom, walk to get some water. You don't have to, run a marathon. You don't have to be super active. You don't have to jump up and down. You can, of course, I encourage that, but you just have to move your body. So whatever your physical activity levels are, and I'm going to show you how to optimize your exercise, get the best results in the least amount of time, but just in general, moving your body more frequently, whether it's a walk 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes after you get home, or whether it's just standing up more frequently at the office, moving your body is really important for stress reduction and optimizing your blood sugar. It's profound what it can do. So it's little things that make a big difference. Reduce toxicity and inflammation. We're going to talk about that later. That's just one of my top tips. I'm going to explain that in more depth. Now, when we are gathering more toxins in our body, when we're eating foods that inflame our digestive system and our body in general, which of course is the ugly 3, the pasteurized dairy, the refined grains, and the sugar, when we have these toxins coming in from stress well, what is the definition of a toxin? Something in our body that is either stressing us out or something that our body can't metabolize. That is the definition of a toxin. Something that our body does not recognize is something it can break down and eliminate. So it stores it. And inflammation is very similar, actually. Inflammation, your body does not, if you're stressed, your body doesn't have the capability to reduce enzymatically inflammation to become optimized. It stays inflamed. And this, of course, is all based on hormones. But toxicity is very, very easy to reduce when you have the right tricks, which I'm going to teach you very, very soon. Little things like drinking lemon water. I'm sure you've heard of that before. Maybe you're even doing that right now. But something like drinking water and lemon, or sprinkling in some cayenne pepper, or teas like dandelion or artichoke. In fact, this is one of the reasons why I created detox sticks, is because this is just it's everything in one, the fastest way to detoxify your organs, get rid of stress, get rid of inflammation. Anything like this is so vital to reducing your stress and to optimizing your blood sugar, because when you have more inflammation than your body can handle and just compounding toxicity, your organs start to become compromised. When you have compromised organs, you reduce your capability of processing and eliminating stress, so that just piles up. So toxicity is stressful, but stress is toxic. So it's a vicious cycle. It's a really vicious cycle that we need to break. And one of the most profound ways we can do that is go straight to the source and boost up our natural ability to detoxify through things like I just mentioned: lemon water, dandelion, artichoke teas. Again, Detox 6 is a perfect example of that, because it's everything in one. And then we can take that one step farther by taking adaptogens. Now, again, a topic I can talk for a weekend about, and we're not going to skim. We're going to dive into adaptogens, but we're going to do a whole other webinar. In fact, everyone who's here today, I'm happy to invite you also to our next Stronger Than Stress webinar. Just join our Stronger Than Stress program, and it's the next thing I want to talk about is adaptogens, because it's just so powerful how over and over again I've seen these epic results with my clients. Again, targeting the blood sugar and reducing stress, and adaptogens is one of these things that is just, you will be shocked at the results. And adaptogens are just plants. They are a type of plant that help you to adapt to stress and process and eliminate stress in such a profound way. And a lot of adaptogens, there's about 15, 16 known in the world right now that are being used. And of these 15, about a dozen, about 13 of them have been clinically proven to optimize your blood sugar, and most of them are actually being used for diabetic management right now. It's that powerful. And a lot of the adaptogens are also being used for anti-anxiety, to replace depression medication. They're doing incredible studies where they're using adaptogens to actually reverse ADHD and to completely just annihilate the anxiety that people have without having to use prescription medication. And I can say this from experience, because I've been using adaptogens for about over 13 years now. And I've used it with everybody from my clients who had addiction issues to clients who had sleep issues and depression issues, anxiety. Over and over again, I've seen adaptogens be the game changer, and sometimes a life changer, a lot of times a life changer, just because it gives your body the support that it needs to finally relieve its own stress, to make your body actually stronger than stress, to boost your system up, to become more efficient at processing the stress that comes in and more efficient at getting that stress out. So adaptogens are a whole other webinar series that we're going to talk about the magic of these plants. And again, in our 30-day reset, I talk about that quite extensively, because if I can help anybody in any way with a supplement, with something that they can take in addition to their healthy diet, it is absolutely adaptogens. It's no question. It's whether you're trying to lose fats, whether you're one of my athletes trying to win a gold medal, or whether you're a cancer patient or somebody who's battling with severe immunocompromisation or digestive issues, we will use adaptogens because it just works. It addresses the stress from the core. And it's just something that I'm so happy that we've discovered, even though it's not new. The Vikings use it, the Sherpa people still use it. It's been used in Ayurvedic medicine for thousands of years. But now we're finally realizing this is the one thing in nature that directly goes to address the stress. And I'm just really, really thankful that we have this technology now to encapsulate it and to make it simple, so you don't have to be brewing tea for 6 hours just to get your adaptogen fix. Now you can take it in an easy capsule form. It's brilliant. So we're going to move on, and here's something very, very interesting that sleep is just so overlooked. So many people overlook the simplicity like sleep is such a, I mean, obviously we need to sleep, but we think, oh, sleep when wait, or, you know, I'll just take this to sleep, or, you know, I'll catch up on sleep later. But sleep is more than just shutting the lights out at night and starting over the next day. Sleep is absolutely crucial to our hormone production. It's while we sleep that we recover our growth hormone. So growth hormone is not really, when you think of growth hormone, you think of anti-aging and these celebrities who are 65 and looking 45. There's a lot of reasons, not growth hormone related, more surgery related. But growth hormone is something that is recovering and is manufacturing during our sleep. But growth hormone and blood sugar are directly linked. And so when we have issues with blood sugar, when we've sent our blood sugar on a roller coaster ride at Disneyland all day from too much stress, too much carbohydrates, by the time night comes around, our body is not ready for sleep. There's so much it has to do. And then when we finally do shut it down and we do sleep, we can't manufacture the hormones that we need to manufacture in order to wake up the next day and be one step ahead. So we've got ourselves in this cycle where we're going to sleep, but we're not waking up the next day one step ahead. We're waking up one step back. And day after day after day, week after week, we find ourselves just more tired than ever, gaining weight for what seems to be no reason, mysterious weight gain. And what's happening is that we're just not recovering in our sleep. So all these anti-aging hormones are not being produced at night because we haven't managed our stress and blood sugar during the day. And so at nighttime, essentially, we're waking up the next day, and we're aging faster. And this is not a good position to be in. We're also, our metabolism is slower, more inflammation, and it just sets us up for that same cycle the next day. Again, this is why I promote waking up and having a fat breakfast, because that's your first chance to stop that cycle. But in this medical sleep study, they very clearly and directly linked your sleep quality to your waistline. So over 1,600 people were studied in the UK, and it was directly revealed that people who slept less weighed more, and they had a higher percentage of visceral and abdominal fat. And that's really important. So we have subcutaneous fat, which is right underneath the skin, and then we have visceral fat, which is surrounding the organs. And visceral fat is the number that you want to have lower. Of course, ideally, your body fat in general is lower percent for many reasons. One of them is that stress and toxicity do not get stored in muscles. Stress and toxicity get stored in fat cells. So fat is a great storage vessel for the bad stuff. And which is why when you start to lose fat, you actually lose toxicity. You reduce your overall toxic load, which is a very, very beneficial thing. But this study clearly linked that lack of sleep resulted in more visceral fat, which is, for example, fatty liver, you hear about it, or people, if your belly, if you're growing weight, if you're gaining weight and it's mostly around your midsection, or if you consider your midsection to be stubborn body fat, stubborn meaning like it's not responding to the diet that you're doing, it's not responding to the exercise so well. You might lose weight from your legs or your arms, but you're just not losing weight from your belly. That is 100% stress related. That is the link between stress and belly fat, is that it is in your stomach, in your visceral fat, where your cortisol receptors are found. And when you don't sleep properly, you wake up, or overnight, it stresses you out, and then the next day your metabolism is compromised, and that specific area in the visceral fat area where your cortisol receptors are, it's much more receptive to attracting energy, which is calories, and storing excess energy around your stomach. And this is dangerous. It's not just that you're going to be getting a belly, which is one of the reasons why we are Business Bellies, helping people to eliminate that. It's not about the body. Again, we go much, much deeper than that. It's about health. When you have fat around your liver, it's a very dangerous condition. When you have fat going around your midsection, it's a warning sign. It's not just that I need to do some ab crunches. That's not the solution. It's really a sign that your hormones are off. And the first hormone that is always a culprit is your cortisol. So we're going to move on here to just give you some simple tips. Again, I want to simplify. I want to make everything sound so easy. And I know the science geek in me comes out sometimes during my talks and my seminars and my webinars. And I get a little bit sciencey, but it's important to understand the chemistry and understand that your body is so much more than just calories and carbs and this and that. That we're a complex system that relies on a balance. And again, my mission is to provide you with the simplicity and the simple ways to fix this, but it is very important for you as you're going on this health journey, and part of our mission with Stronger Than Stress is to educate you, not just to say, here, do this, because I can give you all the best diet plan in the world, the best nutrition plan, and it just won't work if you don't understand the fundamental behind it, because you won't stick with it, because it's not sustainable. It doesn't make sense. So once things start to make sense, you become empowered to make these healthy changes. And some of the healthiest changes you can make are just the simple things. So let's look at stress less and reduce BS. By the way, BS is my abbreviation for blood sugar, not implying anything here. So stress less and reduce your blood sugar with these superfood superstars. It's simple, guys. Cinnamon is a superfood. I'm not going to go too deep into cinnamon, but there is 2 cinnamons in this world. There's actually many more than 2, but one of them is really, really beneficial to us. It's called Ceylon cinnamon. So you can write that down, Ceylon, C-E-Y-L-O-N. It's a region in Sri Lanka. I know it sounds super exotic, but it's just cinnamon. But this type of cinnamon comes from a tree that gives you the most benefits. So this cinnamon will optimize your blood sugar up to 15% more than the other cinnamon. And it just has more antioxidants, more polyphenols, just more beneficial micronutrients. So if you're going to do cinnamon, do it right and just buy yourself some Ceylon cinnamon. You can buy it online almost anywhere, and it's almost no more expensive than the other cinnamon, and it tastes better. You'll love it. So cinnamon helps to reduce your blood sugar. It helps to reduce your inflammation. It's one of the most beneficial nutrients for anybody with severe blood sugar issues. So if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, or if you have a lot of inflammation or digestive issues, add cinnamon to your diet. Get creative. I can send you some recipes. We have plenty of those in our 30-day reset. We have a whole recipe book, and a lot of it involves cinnamon, because you just sprinkle that in wherever you can, and you're going to see great benefits. It's a simple thing that you can do anytime. So another simple thing that you can do anytime is apple cider vinegar. Now, this is something, it's a love-hate relationship. A lot of people, when they hear that word, they run because the smell or the taste. I mean, look, it's a perfect time for me to hydrate. This is green tea with apple cider vinegar. It sounds crazy, but trust me, taste it. It's really, really good. You'll be surprised. Green tea, matcha, and apple cider vinegar, and I added detox sticks, and this boosts me up like crazy. It is the absolute, in my opinion, it's the best health tonic that there is, because it hits every area. It hits your digestion. It improves your uptake of nutrients with the apple cider vinegar. The detox sticks help you to detoxify and get rid of the toxins and boost your metabolism. And the green tea gives you a little bit of energy. So does the detox stick. And so this combination is just like drinking health. It's amazing. So apple cider vinegar is just, it's one of the most ancient basic things that you can do. It helps to increase your good bacteria in your stomach. It helps to decrease the bad bacteria, as all vinegars. They are antifungal and antibacterial. And apple cider vinegar has an extra special. So what makes apple cider vinegar more beneficial than normal distilled vinegar is that apple cider vinegar has that fermentation process with the positive bacteria. So if you ever lift up a bottle of apple cider vinegar, you see there's like a muddy muck at the bottom. That's the good stuff. So as unappetizing as it might look, that part of the apple cider vinegar is what gives it all its benefits. So you can actually reduce your blood sugar 30% when you drink 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar before your meals. And I've tested this over and over again with my diabetic clients. I've tested it with me. With me personally, it reduces my blood sugar about 15%. But the worse or the more severe your blood sugar issues, the more it will impact in a positive way. So if you are trying to break through fat loss plateaus or reduce your blood sugar impact, which we all should be striving for, just first thing in the morning, have either just a plain shot of apple cider vinegar with warm water, or you can optimize that. You can add detox sticks to apple cider vinegar, which tastes absolutely incredible. That will shock you. And you can do this once or twice a day, and it will dramatically improve the way that your body responds to blood sugar, which will dramatically improve the way your body responds to stress. Super important tip, and it's so simple. So apple cider vinegar, you can buy it anywhere. Moving on to psyllium husk. Now, psyllium husk is a insoluble fiber. It kind of looks like a grain, like a wheat, but it's not a grain. The flakes that come from the psyllium plants, kind of like a grass, like a dry grass, it is completely insoluble, which means your body does not digest it. What's amazing about psyllium is that the way that it's designed is that it sucks in water. So it's a great source of fiber. It's great for elimination if you have issues with going to the bathroom, or if you have, if you feel like you don't have enough fiber in your diet. Of course, first solution, add more vegetables, green vegetables. Second solution, add psyllium fiber. It's like a fiber hack. It's just the fastest way to get fiber. 1 tablespoon gives you about 8 grams of fiber, which is a lot. And it's great. You can add it to your meals. If you have oatmeal in the morning, for example, add it to your oats. If you make muffins, you can add it to your muffins. It just volumizes it more, and it adds an amazing blood sugar regulating effect to your meals. So you can buy it anywhere, buy it online, buy it in your grocery shop, and psyllium husk is just a really powerful, simple way to control your blood sugar, which of course in return reduces your stress. Green tea, I'm a huge fan of green tea, especially a green tea called sencha. So this list of about 6 things that I'm listing for you here, I want everybody to take it upon themselves that if you don't have this in your house already, after this webinar, go out and get this stuff. And when you buy cinnamon, if you have it in your house, it's not Ceylon cinnamon, go buy the Ceylon and buy yourself some apple cider vinegar, some psyllium, and it's also known as psyllium fiber, not just psyllium husk. And then green tea. When you buy green tea, buy a green tea called sencha. Sencha is a special Japanese green tea that has the highest amount of antioxidants. Excuse me. It also has the highest level of blood sugar regulating antioxidants, which is very important, called L-theanine. And this is a very, very important soothing amino acid. So although green tea is, in theory, it does have caffeine, but it's more of like a clarity caffeine. It's not like a buzz caffeine like coffee. It's more soothing, more clarity, because it also has these amino acids and these micronutrients that help you stay focused. So it's real brain food. Green tea is a reason why some of the Japanese cultures live to over 100 years old. They're drinking green tea nonstop, and it's just a fantastic nutrient to reduce your stress indirectly through the pathway of reducing your blood sugar and boosting your antioxidants. Also, coffee, nothing wrong with it. Coffee, I'm a fan myself. It was demonized years ago. Coffee was demonized. If it's organic, natural coffee, and you don't add sugar, you don't add milk, there's nothing wrong with coffee. We're going to show you tips to optimize your coffee. It's a coffee hack. But green tea will definitely give you more bang for your buck. There's going to be more benefits. So if you're a coffee drinker, don't need to stop. Just sometime in the afternoon after lunch, add in a green tea. Just watch what happens. You'll be amazed. It really does give you that boost. And again, I love to mix my green tea with detox sticks just because it tastes so good and it just gives it that extra edge. So I highly recommend that recipe. Moving down, the spice turmeric. Turmeric has been all the rage in the past couple years, and for a good reason. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. It reduces your blood sugar. It optimizes your blood sugar. It doesn't directly reduce it, but it definitely helps your body to optimize it. It's very cleansing. It's great for the blood. It's very, very good for an antioxidant. So the combination of green tea and turmeric is a really, really great combo. Not saying you have to mix it, but you add these 2 things into your diet and you've just massively improved your detoxification potential. And finally, ashwagandha. I don't know if you know about ashwagandha. If you don't know about ashwagandha, please take a look at our website, businessbellies.com, and you can find some articles on transcendhealth.com. We're moving a lot of things over to Business Bellies now, really focus on the education aspect. And ashwagandha is it's an adaptogen. It's one of those 15-ish adaptogens, and this is one that has profound benefits on your stress. They've used it over and over again with different clinical studies, proven that it has an anti-anxiety effect strong. And again, myself with my clients, I've seen over and over again, I've seen great results with ashwagandha. Never any adverse reaction. It's a natural product, so your body can take in what it needs and rejects what it doesn't, or I should say eliminates what it doesn't. And ashwagandha is a beautiful thing because it directly lowers your blood sugar response, and it very profoundly reduces your stress too. So people who are high anxiety or I guess sleep issues, I use ashwagandha a lot. It's just an incredible all-arounder. So whether you're trying to stress less or lose weight, ashwagandha will help you do that through the series of, or I should say the cycle of reducing your blood sugar and directly soothing your response to stress. It's really, really powerful. So all these things, these 6 items right here, I would love to see you add to your shopping cart, whether that's online or in your local store. These things will help you break through plateaus and make some serious results in your daily lifestyle, and it's just so easy. So highly recommended, guys. Now we get into shifting your body into fat burning mode. We've been I've been warming you up. I've been leading you into this. Everything that we've been discussing has been in regards to shifting your body into fat burning mode. Of course, what does shifting your body into fat burning mode mean? It is turning your system from a sugar burner, where we all are now, because culturally we've been raised to crave sugar, and to most of our diet consists of carbohydrates, and we need to shift that. So shifting your body into fat burning mode, it starts right here, guys. So I like to say, if you eat like the American food pyramid, guess what? You're gonna look like the American food pyramid. I know it's not nice, but we have all been misled. We've all been misled about the truths of eating, basically because of this, because the doctors that we saw when we were children, even the nutritionists a decade ago or so, they were all educated based on this nutritional plan. And what did this nutritional plan tell us to eat the most of? Grains, refined grains. Eat the most bread, the most, I mean, everything that was a grain, we were supposed to eat it. We were told that that's what was good for us. Thank goodness, the pioneers in physique transformation and the athletes, and a lot of people knew that this wasn't right, but unfortunately mainstream, this was the diet that was marketed. This started the low-fat diet craze, which, guys, you have to understand this. The low-fat diet was the most health-destructive diet of all time. The low-fat diet was one of the reasons why there's so much diabetes right now. It's one of the reasons why there's so many people with stress and body fat issues, is because the carbohydrate stresses out. This is the one nutrient that our body doesn't require to survive. We couldn't survive without protein. We could not survive without fats. We could survive without carbohydrates. But it's the one thing we eat the most of. So we need to make this fundamental shift and stop eating such a high carbohydrate, high sugar diet, and then we will be able to shift our body into fat burning mode. So here I back that claim up. Hydrate. So good. So we're all sugar burners. It's time to make the shift. I kind of went through this before, but we're gonna breeze right through this. But we have, again, when I look at how my clients are eating and how I can make the biggest change in their diet, I have to look at every single time. It's the same thing. I never look at a client's diet and say, oh, well, I see the problem. It's too much broccoli. That's never it. It's always carbohydrates. So we're going to breeze through this because I already covered it. But to shift your body into fat burning mode, we must change the amount of carbs we eat and reduce that and increase the amount of fats we eat. And then our body will realize, oh, fat is an opportunity for energy. Let's use that. And then we become fat burners. So I want to share with you the Business Bellies. It's the big fat burning secret. This is a formula. It's a very simple formula, how to lose weight and how to shift your body into fat burning mode, which is more important. It's not just about losing weight. It's about becoming an efficient fat burner. And one of the best ways to do that is to choose a couple days a week where you intermittent fast. Now, intermittent fasting is something that we get into in detail in the 30-day reset, and we're going to keep this going with Stronger Than Stress. We're going to talk more about intermittent fasting. Today, I'm just going to, if you don't know what it is, I don't want to leave you hanging. So intermittent fasting is simply go in an extended period of time without eating. So let's say you eat between an 8-hour window. So you make your last meal of the day 7 p.m., the next meal is 11. So essentially you skip breakfast. You make the first meal of your day, the most important meal of your day, something that's healthy fats, and you don't have to do it all the time, but it is a great opportunity for your body to go an extended period without food where it starts to search for an alternate source of energy. Your body in intermittent fasting says, okay, wait, you're not going to give me energy, so I have to start looking for my own. And when it does that, you shift into fat burning. Your body starts to look for an alternate source of energy, and it will find that alternate source of energy, and guess what that is? It's your body fat. So intermittent fasting is not the solution. It's not the only way, but it is let's call it a tool for your healthy toolbox. It's a great tool for you to use when you either want to break through new plateaus or try something new. It's so simple. You just skip one meal. You skip your dinner or you skip your breakfast, and you eat between an 8-hour window, and the results are incredible. It mimics the effects of long-term fasting. It boosts your immune system. It helps your blood sugar to become more regulated. It gives you more clarity. It's really an amazing thing to do. So with that, we just talked about balancing your dietary fats to equal your carbohydrate intake. Again, we go deeper into this, but the fat burning secret we're going to send to you in more detail. I'm going to go through each bullet point and just explain it so that you understand the science behind it. But balancing your dietary fats to equal your carbs is just essentially, to simplify, it's eat less carbs, eat more dietary fats. Don't be afraid of dietary fats. I know it's the thing on our body that we want gone, but the way to do that is not to eat less of it. It's actually the opposite. It's to eat more of it, to teach your body that this is a preferred energy source, and to eat less of the energy we don't need, which is the carbohydrates. So again, we're going to go into this deeper. I shared with you my one of my fat burning secrets is when you wake up, have apple cider vinegar to boost your metabolism. Add detox sticks because that enhances your metabolism exponentially. It's incomparable what adding detox sticks to apple cider vinegar will do versus just apple cider vinegar. And you just have that with a little bit of warm water. Some people like less, some people like more, and just make that your daily ritual. Wake up and just slam warm water, 1 detox sticks, apple cider vinegar, and right there your body is primed for the day. It starts to neutralize the bad bacteria, helps you boost the good bacteria, helps to clean your liver, and so you start the day shifted into fat burning mode. It's really brilliant. And of course, you see the Sencha green tea here. We have already discussed that. I'm just a huge fan. I've seen it over and over again. Adding 1 Sencha tea to your daily routine will provide results. It's just incredible how simple that can be. Using cayenne pepper, black pepper, and ginger regularly. These are 3 super spices that don't get enough credit for the effects they have, that when you add these to a healthy diet, even an unhealthy diet, it would still give you benefits because it goes after the core issue that so many of us have, which is blood sugar issues and stress issues. So cayenne pepper is an antioxidant. It relieves inflammation, which in turn relieves stress. Black pepper, the exact same. It helps to relieve inflammation and it helps to boost the metabolism. And ginger also helps to regulate blood sugar and reduce inflammation. So these 3 spices you can have with any meal. Be creative again, add it to your meals, and you will see a significant difference in the way that your body reacts to what you are doing. So if you weren't getting results before, you add this fat burning secret matrix into your day, you're going to start to see results really fast. Stop using cardio machines and hit the floor instead. When it comes to exercise, a lot of people are wasting time, or you're doing things that feel hard, but your body is not responding, and I want to help you change that. And again, this is a huge part of our 30-day reset. This is one of the reasons why Phil, he's such a superstar. He's so incredible, and he is such an advocate of HIIT, which is high intensity interval training. And the concept of high intensity interval training, and we like to match that to body weight training. So I like to say, if you don't have a gym, no problem. You actually always have a gym as long as you have a floor. And HIIT is a way to work out where you do hard, intense, so it could be just jumping jacks, for example, and then you stop, and then intense, and then stop. So it's intervals. You're on, you're off, you're on, you're off. You don't have to run on a treadmill for 60 minutes to lose fat. That is not the best way. If you did 15 or 20 minutes of HIIT, high intensity interval training, at home on a little yoga mat, and just move your body in this way that I'm going to show you how, you're going to get dramatic results. It is completely different how your body reacts with hormonal production, blood sugar regulation, stress elimination. It's profound what HIIT and changing the way you train will do. You need less time, which is time saving, and it's just so incredible the results that you get from changing the way that you move your body. And we'll show you how. We have videos, we have instructionals, and we have whole supporting articles, and we'll be doing webinars based on HIIT. So when you get our 30-day reset, you're going to see myself and my brother talking about HIIT, the science behind it, and the exact routine that we use for our clients and ourselves that we're just going to give to you, so you have the best routine you could possibly imagine, and more routines for if you get bored and if you want to add some new stuff. So happy to share that with you, and excited to see you on our 30-day reset. Adapt to stress and sleep better. We kind of covered that. Adapt to stress. When I say adapt, I'm implying use adaptogens, is help your body adapt to the environment that it's in, which is a stressful environment, and give it some support. And nothing gives your body more stress support than adaptogens. So things like rhodiola, things like holy basil, things like ashwagandha, which we talked about, all things that I created the Transcend products around, of course, because I want to help my clients in the most effective way possible. And to do that, you need to detoxify, get rid of the inflammation, get rid of the toxins, so you can allow your body to produce or process stress better, and then go straight to the source with adaptogens, which is what cortisol is, and just annihilate stress from the source. So teach your body in 2 stages how to get better at processing stress and protect your body against future stresses. So once you have this 2-stage attack on stress, You're just like, you become bulletproof. You become just like a superhuman because your body is getting rid of the stress faster and it's not coming in as fast. It's absolutely a beautiful place to be. And this is all part of shifting your body into fat burning mode. You need that stress protection. If it's coming in, and it's going to come in, I mean, let's be honest, we live a stressful, high pressure life. Modern society, we're glued to our phones. We're just obsessed. We have Facebook, we have emails, we have pressure coming in from all directions. We need a solution for stress. And there's nothing more powerful than adaptogens. So I hope that everybody gets on that, look more into cortisol detox sticks, and it's included in our 30-day reset. So not only do you get a 30-day coaching and education package, you also get the products, which is, you'll be amazed at what you're going to do in 30 days with your health and with your sleep and with your fat loss. It's incredible. So I want to move on right here. I'm already going a little bit over time, but I tend to do that, as anyone who's seen my seminars knows about me. But here I talked about balancing your fats with your carbohydrates. So increasing your fats, decreasing your carbohydrates. Now I want to give you about 7 or 8 foods that are the simplest things to add to your diet that imagine, or I can tell you, just picture what your body would look like and how you would feel, what your stress levels would be, how low they would be when you stopped hammering your body with sugars, carbohydrates, refined grains, pasteurized dairies, and of course refined sugar, and too much caffeine. Imagine what you would look like if your diet looked more like this. So these are super fats for super fat loss. Avocado, organic free-range eggs, pumpkin seeds, coconut oil, MCT oil, which, by the way, MCT oil, you can read more about that on our Business Bellies website. It's medium chain triglyceride. It's an acronym. And what makes coconut oil so special is, in fact, that coconut oil is 60% MCT oils. It's just a special oil, a special chemical composition of oil that helps your body to produce more energy, essentially. So I don't want to get too sciencey on you, but essentially it is a fat that doesn't get recognized as a fat as easily as it gets recognized as an energy source. So it's an energizing fat. Your body sees it and right away it says, I know exactly what to do with this. I'm going to make energy. And once you start to give yourself coconut oil or pure MCT oil regularly, you start to train your body to be more of a fat burner instead of such sugar burner. It's profound the difference you can make by adding this into your life. So cook your eggs with coconut oil. Cook with coconut oil whenever you can. MCT oil is flavorless, so if you don't like the flavor of coconut oil, you can just add MCT oil, which is the best part of coconut oil, into salad dressings or into anything because it's just absolutely flavorless, odorless. It's incredible. Olive oil, I'm sure we're all very familiar with olive oil. Olive oil is best for salads and kept cold, but it's a brilliant oil. It's very good to reduce inflammation. It has just so many benefits. 2 of the longest living cultures in the world, Sardinia being one of them, and Icaria in Greece being another, just live off olive oil. And there's more people who live to 100 years old in these 2 places and one other place in Japan than anywhere else in the world. So olive oil is absolutely a brilliant oil, highly recommended. Just best left for salads and things cold. Seasonings is great. And then almonds and macadamias. People ask me all the time, what are the best nuts to have? First answer is not peanuts. It's just too much inflammation. Is not good for your blood sugar, peanuts. The best nuts are almonds, macadamia nuts, Brazil nuts, and walnuts. So those 4 nuts right there are the king of the nuts. They're going to give you the most benefit, the most optimization for your blood sugar, and which will, of course, as we've learned today, which will result in less stress. You control your blood sugar, you lower your stress. These go hand in hand. So we're going to move on to exercise now. Not going to spend too much time on the exercise because this is going to be a whole other webinar, and this is a huge part of our 30-day health reset. This 7 body weight exercises that I'm sharing with you here are part of me trying to help you maximize your exercise. So like I said before, no gym, no problem. You do not need a fancy gym. You don't need an expensive membership. You don't need the transit to the gym if you're getting stuck and worried like, oh, it's going to be half an hour to get there, then an hour there, then half an hour to get back. It's 2 hours out of your day. You don't need that. If you have 20 minutes and a mat and a little like floor space in your house or apartment or wherever you live, you have a gym. And we will teach you exactly how to do this. So you can take a screenshot of this if you want, but of course we're going to send this to you. We can send you this, or I will send you this exact routine. So I have filmed this routine and my brother and I talk about this and I show you exactly how to do these 7 exercises at home, anytime, anywhere. And I show you why these are so beneficial and why these will just blast fat off your body so much more efficiently and effectively than running on a treadmill, let's say, will. nothing against running. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not the fastest way to get great results. It's not the fastest way to shift your body into fat burning mode. HIIT, high intensity interval training, body weight exercises, this is the fastest way to shift your body into that fat burning mode. All right, so we're going to cover that a little bit later. So I want you to stay connected to your health. We want you, this is the mission with Business Bellies, is Grant, our mind master, myself, and Phil, we've been doing this combined for over 50 years. Like, I've been doing this for 17 years, helping people with their health and nutrition and health coach, and I've been through every end of the spectrum of health you can imagine. My brother too, of course, he is now a superstar celebrity trainer. He's just a brilliant physical transformation specialist. Is between us and with Grant, with the mind, with the visualization, with the breathing, with the holistic approach to taking care of yourself and going to the core, which is the stress and controlling your PS, your blood sugar, of course. It's just so important to know that you have a team behind you and reliable information. Now, Dr. Google can be a very misleading place. It's a scary place. If you ask Dr. Google some questions, you're going to get 1,000 different answers. And you're going to get many, many answers, but you're not going to get any path. You're not going to get any proven way to get the results that you want. You're getting little tidbits of information, which in the end will just be misleading. So we promote that you keep educating yourself, and that we really hope that you feel almost like you want to just change the way you're living right now to shift more into a healthful direction, and we want to be a part of that. So the mission with Business Bellies, and the reason why we're now powered by Transcend. So the Transcend supplements are so effective. They are so life-changing for so many people. We've been just so thrilled with the results, and now we want to do even more for everybody who's part of the community. And we want to, since we're specialists in stress, this is what we do. This is why I created Transcend. And now with Business Bellies, we're taking that one step farther to focus absolutely just on stress and the connection it has to not only your body fat, but the dangerous body fat, but also the performance, the way that you're sleeping, the way that you're working, your work performance. And we're just so thrilled to be able to offer you this opportunity to be with us, as we are your health coaches virtually online. You don't even have to come to Thailand. So our Stronger Than Stress program is just a way to stay connected. And if you join, you get our products, you get access to our webinars. We're going to be doing this every single week. So every week, either a podcast, a webinar, or some special event. Next time it's going to be Grant on with myself and my brother as well, Phil. You'll get to meet Phil. He's an amazing guy, and I can't wait till you meet Grant, because it's super powerful what he can do with your mind, and just have you visualize your healthier self. And then you become that healthier self, and it happens very fast, especially when you put all these elements together. So we're offering a special offer for everybody who was on this webinar, and we are just so thrilled. So I want to personally thank you for being here today. This has been an absolute pleasure for me, and I'm going to teach you how to make the most of your sleep also, but this has been an absolute pleasure for me. For a guy who's used to doing live events, this is a webinar that is very, very exciting for me, and I'm happy that you are here, and I'm happy for us to keep this going and to see you every week, hopefully. So I'm signing out now, but I'm looking forward to hearing your questions. So I'm going to stay on. I shouldn't say I'm signing out now. I'm actually looking forward to your questions, and if I'm not replying right now, we're going to get back to you personally. So I'm going to open up the microphone to Grant, if I can figure that how, because I see there's some people on.
Dave, can you hear me, Dave?
I can hear you, Grant, loud and clear.
Yeah, I've said, because I know a number of people have got some other things on, we've got a question that's popped through from Jennifer Shanik. I think that's the right pronunciation. Sorry, Jennifer, it's wrong. But she asks, can I also cook with MCT oil, or is it like olive oil and meant to be kept cold?
That's a brilliant question, Jen. Yes, it's not meant to be cooked with. Since it's been purified and isolated, what has been isolated is heat sensitive. So you do not want to cook with MCT oil. Yeah.
Okay, is there any other questions? If not, please feel free to contact David directly at dave@businessbellies.com. But look, this is one of our great sessions, and the first one of many. As David pointed out, our Stronger the Stress program, we have 4 webinars each month, and that's at no cost to you. And it's pretty important. They are VIP exclusive webinars for our Stronger Than Stress members. But we'll be sending you a copy of this brilliant session with Dave. Certainly all the 5 strategies are absolutely crucial. And really, when it comes down to it, cortisol is the big devil when it comes to weight gain. And no doubt Dave's pointed that out. Certainly has had a big impact on me. But thanks a lot for that session, Dave. Yeah, and thank you everyone for turning up. We had a great number there, and we'll certainly see you shortly. And watch out for our email with this attached recording. So again, if you would like to thank Dave, give him a hand up, and thank you very much, Dave, for all that.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you on our ongoing Stronger Than Stress program.
Okay.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.